Back with another review, and the typical English weather. It's been raining, and it's night time as well. It's okay today, and it is a new arrival. Well, I've been asking for this I've been asked for this since a couple of years now. It was announced, I think the first one was announced back in 2017 or 2019, and it came out back in 2024. I think I introduced another batch. And when they announced this new batch, they announced some new liveries, and one that struck to my eyes is the one you're going to see here. And to get the boring invoice out of the way, it is this, the Dapol Class 59 diesel electric locomotive. And I'm going to get it out of the box, back up a bit of the parcel. It just came today. Just going to move the box, and one box parcel. So the one I've gone for is, because this looks similar to a Class 66, but it isn't similar. It's different, a little bit different. The one I've, let me just zoom out. I need to do that because it's quite big. It is, I've got 4D, 005, 005 SSM, 1 scale, 00 Class 59, 59201, EWS, Vale of York, DCC sound and spoke fitted. It's R1, so it can go down really tight curves. So yeah, it can do what 040s can. This one I've gone for is a DCC sound and smoke with the Plux 22. I believe this is the updated one. I believe the old one's a 21 pin. And so here she is. I'll zoom out a bit. I'm gonna have to zoom out. I'm just gonna way up. There we go. That's more like it. You get to see some other bits of gumph, but you get to see the board of the locomotive in shot. So what I'm going to do is going to open the box and see what we get inside, which is going to open. So the packaging is similar to what we've seen now Hornby are using and what Akira Scale use as well. It's really good packaging. I've seen it for the Class 88. I do have footage of it, but just need to find a way to get uploaded. So you've got your instructions manual here for the Dapol Class 59, which tells you about your contents. You got your history over there. Oh, you can pause if you want. So this is, I think this is one that was delivered in 1995, I believe. This is one early ones. So you've got, if we can just zoom back in, there we go. We can get. Now I got running in. There you go. Wow, that's unusual. I'll take their word for it. I'm not going to be higher than them, which is not good. I've got your blanking plug functions. You've got your switches. That's no different. Detail fitting. Got some body removal. You've got some body here. Not to remove the screws. You've also got some maintenance. Obviously, you need to duplicate and obviously clean it. The faff, if you want to, you can check out Sam's Trains Review if you want to figure out how much of a faff it is trying to get the body off. So you got the Dapol factory fitted DCC models. You get your DCC and your lighting. That implies you need a 9-function decoder. Ones you got fitting your sound installation. If you want to fit sound to it, obviously you got your functions here, which you're going to need for the Gauge Master Prodigy. If there's any changes, just function 2. Obviously, obviously by tomorrow I will have, which will work part 2. I'll have the sounds. You've got your engine starting. You've got your Spirax valves. You've got your, and obviously at the end, this is one I want. Smoke fluid. Do not operate the smoke fluid with after a period. Hot. It's not doing. Well, it needs to be about 5 or 6 drops in, and then wait for a minute, and then obviously. Troubleshooting, and you've got the PCB switch there, which might check if it's on or off. Now look, switch. Okay, so I think it should be on. So you've got your spare parts and your warranty and your terms and conditions. So let's get out of the box. Let's get it out. And here she is. We've got to do a comparison. I will get a Class 66 out and then can see if there's any visual real life differences. It's obvious. I'm going to slide this off. It's very stiff. The rain's almost stopped. And we've got some non-low odor smoke oil for using Dapol smoke generators only. So you're not going to fit into my Hornby Scotch smoke. I've got the distilled water. And we'll see how it's like. And we've got the standard smoke oil. Which one do you use though? That's a question. Can you ask me which one can you use first? A blanking plug. I don't need that. I'll get rid of it. You can see we've got the accessories in there, and we've got some nameplates. Oh, but a tiny. Struggles that the camera of my phone could pick this up, but there are tiny. Oh, the camera's me off. It's Vale of. This actually says Vale of York, but the camera was struggling to pick it up. And here we go. I'm going to move this back into shot. Take it out of this packaging and oh, it's heavy. Yeah, it's heavy. Move the packaging to one side, and here she is. What a beauty! This is a lovely look. First of all, I'm going to remove this as well. They help it out. They help out during transport. You can see there, you got the Dapol logo underneath. Sorry, I think I'll edit it out. But anyway, I've also got with me, with the Dapol Class 59, I've got next to it is the Class 66. Now, if we move the camera around from the top, you can see the roofs are pretty much identical. But there's a 59 doesn't have has this extra part on top of the roof, which is red and maroon and colour coded. That one's grey. As you move around, you got this has, and this doesn't, which is obviously a variation of the roofs. So while the roofs look pretty much identical, if you have a 59.0, the front's a lot different. But if we move to the front of these two, I'm just going to pan the camera around and then zoom in. The only difference that I can see is viable. Only two differences I could see. Obviously, that's not got the detail fitted. This Classic 6 by Curiosco's not got the detail fitted. But it's got this extra parts there. The handrails, and that hasn't got the handrails. Extra parts where you put the vacuum pipes, put all your detailing, which I will obviously do on detailing this end. Obviously, it's also got a bell. Each end would have a bell similar to what the Dapol. Before it would have the top wipeout light right there, top marker right there. This would have a bell. 66779 Evening Star also has this setup as well, but has a different light cluster, which is another difference. You can see there, this is the early one, different early variation of the wipeout headlights, and you can see with the 66 they've got the later blacked out covers. All in all, and that's pretty much a lot of the details. I could barely say that they're identical. There's pretty much just some differences, but there are a lot of similarities between these two. But if we go to the sides, there, look at it from a side perspective. This is where we get some differences. Side tanks. If you look at the side tanks of the Class 59, in right here, these are a lot different. You don't get what the Classic 6 doesn't have. So there's an early version of the tanks underneath for your water and your fuel. This one has it a bit different. You can see there you got your pneumatic air vacuum brake system in there, and you've also got the tanks are a lot smaller. So yeah, it's a bit different as it is, and it's the same on the other side as well. Rumbling, I haven't done it yet, but you can see that's the difference. But also the difference I like this Dapol one is that the doors open. And not that much, but the doors open. The back one doesn't have, because the other Classic 6 has this, which is really nice to see. See, it's nice little touches. I think the detail's a little bit coarser on the doors. When you compare it to the Batman Classic, Curiosco Classic 6, the detail's a bit better. So we've got the opening doors, but the vents on this are colour coded. Was on the 59, the early ones. they're black. That's another difference to watch out. Some liveries will have some variations. But if you bought, let's say, an EWS Class 59, like I have, and you bought an EWS Class 66, there's a livery variation right there. You have the 59201 EW, the gold stripe rundown dead center, whereas on this 66, you can see it's a variant. It zigzags. It's right there. Nice to see. The switch is complaining as well because it's got low on battery, but I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to press on. But anyway, comparison to one side, what is the detail like for the Class 59? Well, even though she's a bit of a budget, £130, £9 from the retailers at Rails of Sheffield, which puts it on par with the Akira scale pannier tank, which is still being repaired, it's actually really good detail. And for like a rarer plus models, which HM 7000 sound, you get an analog Class 59, which, yes, it doesn't have the sound, but it is still an exceptional model. While not on par as the Akira scale Class 66 on detail and the Class 60, we've seen better. This is still really good. And the stairs match up as well. And then the backman needs to learn. Well, then you got the Vale of York. Of course, it might nameplates are tamper printed on. So it's something that's on each side. You can see there's none there. So it's something I'll need to be really careful when I fit crewmen to fit these on. As you can see, they've already picked one of the ends for the coupler, and it's an NEM coupling, and it is swiveling as well. And the bogies do swivel a fair bit as well. That's probably one reason why I can get around first radius curves. So the small layouts with shunters and small wheelbase shunters. Yeah, this thing can go around it. Mental, isn't it? The cab detail isn't as great. There is some detailing, but it's not really picked out. So you can tell it's been made a bit more of a budget. I think you can see that it's not on both ends, but one end has the bell, and that's the end picked out for the front. The other, which is what I like to see. I think the horns are a bit different. Grills are a bit different. I don't know. I need to take a detailed look. So there's another one I should pick up. Well, the cab detail on this is, and the 56 is superior period of the 59. I need to have a look. Yeah, the horn grills right at the top, on the front, are actually different. I've been looking at the Class 59. Actually, there is a difference between these two right there. Obviously, your base keeper plates are clipped on, which is not ideal. And I think Sam's Trains does have a video where he was trying to like disassemble for service and body removal, where it was an absolute faff. That's something I take into consideration, especially that valance needs to come away. So I need to take the body off for crew. But the belt, the end with the bell, the front, you've got your exhaust there. That's where you can fill your fluid up. That's the thing I will do when I get the smoke fluid fitted for this model. But she's a fantastic model, and I mean, this is great quality from Dapol. This I've been waiting 2 years, and yet it has not disappointed me. The Dapol Class 59 is such a superb model, and the original tooled one, the Lima ones, are still good, but I think they're a bit overpriced and a bit hard to come by. This is why I wanted one, but I was put off by the fact it was not that detailed, and Dapol announced this one, and this was the better model. Without a shadow of a doubt, this is the winner. Now, I don't have one, so I don't know what it's like to compare, but this would easily trounce the 59 by Hornby and Lima. Although I haven't got a Lima 66, maybe I might get one actually. If I do, comment which one livery I should get, and I'll do a comparison with my two Batman, my Batman old tooled, my Batman new tooled, and the Akira scale one, see which one is the winner. See, as you can tell, this is a 59.2 variant from the lights cluster at the front, and it's got the bell, and it's got the dynamic, and it's got the braking system from the 59.0. So obviously, if you get 59.1, you might get some differences at the bottom and some differences at the front right there. That's if you get a 59.1, you are going to get some differences. If you get 59.2, you are going to get some similarity to the 59.0s. And if you get 59.0, you got the early ones. Some of these are now 40 years in service, which I'm thinking is absolutely crazy. And these over oh, they were over 95% availability, which is what is nice to see. They were 99%, which is what Foster Yeoman wanted, which is better than what the Class 56 is. Just thinking this brought a bit of a problem, because while that was coming out, British Rail really needed to fight back. British Rail had to rethink the design because of the international invasion, the American invasion of these Class 59s was literally quite scary for British Rail. Instead of having 95 aimed by Foster Yeoman, they got 99. Which was kind of scary, which was actually British Rail needed to think on their feet, because not just Foster Yeoman or the ARC group ordered another set of Class 59s that were a bit different. They didn't have a different dynamic braking. Well, I'm not that technical, although I do know it. I'm not going into that technical gumph about the Class 59 variances. And that is a technical term, gumph. And that is a technical term. Gubbings. Bings. I have another one here. I could use this one. I know I have two Class 37s that have to be made. Bring these into shot. Well, partially shot. This one here. The Class 60. While I was developing the Class 59, British Rail had to fight back on designing a diesel that had a similar capability of a Class 59 and could pull more, could pull similar and be more reliable. While the 59 was being constructed, the Class 60 was coming to force from British Rail. And as you can see, it was a different design. But the problem was, they ordered 100 of these, but they couldn't get 100 in a year. Well, while they built these, exactly 100 faults were found. And they were a bit late. These things last delivered, I think, around 1995. This is one of the mid-90s ones. They actually finished delivering before they came out, which was a total embarrassment for British Rail around the late 80s, early 90s. But eventually they were all pressed into service, but I think it was a bit of a rushed job. And the Class 60 is the last ever diesel built by British Rail before privatisation fully took over in the 90s. But the engine was also derived from the Class 37, because there was a variant. Because while refurbishments were taking place for the Class 37. Now this one is in a similar timeline, but is obviously a transitional mainline blue livery, and it's a lovely model. Don't get me wrong, it's a great model. Just not as good as the Acura scale one than the Bachmann ones, but still, if you find one of these for a good price, get one. Because there are multiple liveries and multiple variations. But I also did a variant with a Merley's engine called the Class 37 9s, which were completely re-engined. New motors, new alternators, and basically new generators, and got the new Merley's engine. They were trialled with a Ruston engine, which some of these Class 37s did have, which were nicknamed as slugs. But it was couldn't meet emission standards, so the Merleys did, so they was using the Class 60, which meant reliability woe after reliability woe after reliability woe, which is not ideal. So so British Rail had to get thinking to fight back. The 37-7, which had new motors fitted, and it had the steam heaters removed, and it had extra weight added to cope with the heavier loads. Coal trains are going through the North East and South Wales, and which is why it was created to try and combat the Class 59, but it was just too little, too late, I believe. And, well, I love this one, this load haul orange. I'm planning to fit this with sound, and I plan to fit 709, the other one I've got, with sound and repainted T-size Steelmaster. By the time British Rail built the Class 60, the damage was done. It was clear. Also, while making this subclass and creating this Class 60, the damage was already done. It was unfortunate. I know, but it was sad. But the Class 37 is forever becoming an icon. And the Class 59 did actually get some exports. From 59003 was exported to Germany. I think spent some time on trial before it came back to the UK. For 59 is now with GBRF. So let's take 60001 out of frame and bring back 59201. And then EWS ordered the Class 66 from the successor of this 59. And the rest is history on the Class 66s. They literally became the sheds. This was the pre-shed, if you could call it. The shed before it became the shed. And this model is still fantastic. It is amazing, this model, but it's not a full 10 out of 10 on detail. I think there are parts that skip out a bit, that the cab detail could be a bit better. I think some of the separate details could have been done nicer. There could have been molded parts, but you know, for a sound fitted model, for like super detail, and smoke generator fitted, I think that is going to make the progress. So what I'm going to do now, because tomorrow's my mum's birthday, I want to spend some time with her, is that I'm going to call the first part off here, and I will see you when the weather gets nicer, albeit the rain has actually stopped, and we'll do part 2.